Have you ever wondered why some piano players can sight read so quickly while you're still figuring out each note? I've helped piano players just like you move from note to note frustration to confident pattern playing, and today I'm sharing exactly how to make that shift at your level. So by the end of this video, you'll know how to recognize musical patterns that make reading sheet music faster and far less overwhelming, whether you're a beginner or intermediate player. So reading sheet music can feel a little like reading two stories at once, especially once both hands are involved. You're decoding not just the notes, but all the symbols and all the information that the composer has left for you. So let me show you what I mean when you're just focused on reading each note. And I'm going to do just a left hand. If you've been watching this series, you're going to notice that there is a lot that sounds similar, right? Like if you don't know your keyboard, if you don't know the notes on the staff, if you're not sure how to read patterns, it's all going to sound very awkward and stilted. And that's what happens when you're reading each note fresh every single time. Here's a different way. Reading patterns instead of individual notes is exactly what professionals do when they're scanning their music. It transforms how quickly you can learn and how confidently you can play. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Rosemary. I've been teaching for over 20 years and composing imaginative educational piano music for nearly as long here at Must Love Music. So let's apply this pattern reading approach at your level. For beginners, you're going to start by recognizing when notes repeat or finding simple sequences. So if I play this section again, notice that the top note stays the same for the first two chords, right? It's just my bottom note that's moving. And then my last two notes, now that's a pattern you can just memorize rather than reading those chords fresh every single time. So go ahead and try it out. Now this approach works even if there aren't chords and it's just the melody. And so if you're an absolute beginner, you're looking for the notes just stepping up. Are they moving in one direction, note by note? Are they skipping notes? What are the patterns there? Okay, now for intermediate piano players, you're going to analyze how patterns evolve and transform. So if you're reading a complex passage note by note, like that's the hard way. Rather than me reading that rhythm every single time it shows up in the music, I'm going to recognize that those are rhythmic octaves. It's just C's. That's all it is. So you're analyzing the musical structure of even a small section. It doesn't always have to be the entire song. It doesn't have to be the entire phrase. Even within a measure, what's the musical structure? Instead of looking at the individual notes. Imagine creating your own music using concepts like this from day one, like taking the chord progression that I'd mentioned or that I'd shown and transposing it to different keys or using it as the foundation of your own song. That's what happens in my online studio. My neurodivergent-friendly approach means lessons adapt to you, not the other way around. So check out the link in the description or this QR code over here to book your meet and greet. So it's all well and good to find patterns and do a little light analysis. It's a great start, but I can tell you from experience, if it doesn't stick, you're still struggling with reading sheet music. So here's a fun way to test if you're really reading patterns instead of notes. That's the original key. Now watch what happens when I play that exact same pattern in a different key. And I'm going to change up my left hand slightly here. Now, if you're reading the pattern, transposing actually becomes surprisingly simple. So here's a simple practice tip that you can try. Beginners, I want you to make a map of your music using letters or shapes. So one of my current students, she's using circles, X's, and triangles to mark different patterns for the song she was learning, and she's just doing it on her whiteboard. Now for intermediate players, practice your accompaniment pattern using all the rhythms in the piece separate from the melody. You'll discover the structure much faster. Western music in particular tends to have a strong harmonic structure to it. By the way, what's your biggest challenge when reading piano sheet music? music? Is it recognizing the patterns quickly or maybe remembering them once you found them? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe. All right, so excellent. You're now thinking like a professional musician when you're reading music, even if you're just starting out. So make sure to watch my video on reading notes on the staff next. I've got it linked over here. Understanding those basics will definitely help you spot those patterns instantly. By the way, thanks and happy playing.